What's the condition of each reactor?
原子炉の状態はどうでしょうか。
現時点で原子炉はいずれも安定した状態を保っております。
All 6 reactors are in stable condition.
Great, let's wrap up.
What about the partial meltdown at reactor 3?
Wrap up for me.
の兆候は見られますか。
一部溶
Excuse
融
me, that's not what I asked. I'm asking him specifically about the core damage at reactor 3.
What's happening?
の炉心の損傷はどうですか。
作業員が近寄れないため確認が取れておりません。
We know of no core damage at any of the reactors.
That's not what Mr. Tanaka just said. He said our engineers can't get close enough to confirm that. Please translate exactly what I'm asking and exactly what Mr. Tanaka is answering, including what I'm saying now, because I want him to be aware that he's being misrepresented.
Ms. Savith, I am translating. He is not being misrepresented.
Ask him if he believes the radiation levels are going to a 7.
Please, please, don't go rogue.
当初はレベル4と評価されておりましたが、後にレベル5に再評価されました。
The radiation was categorized at level 4 and then recategorized at level 5, and that's where it should remain.
Ma'am, he didn't say that's where it should remain. You did. Furthermore, he told me, you know what, I'm just gonna... Tanaka-san, 先ほど私に3号機の炉心の一部損傷が懸念されているとおっしゃいましたね。
And now we're doing the broadcast in Japanese.
これに標準時間の18時以降何か状況が変わったんですか？
ご質問の意味が分かりかねます。
田中さん。
We'll be right back after this. Just say that.
Say
it in English.
繰り返しになりますけど、3号機
Mr. Tanaka, your company had this incident rated at level 4, then adjusted to level 5. How confident are you that that'll be the highest level we see?
At least we're back to English.
現時点でレベルをこれ以上引き上げる判断材料は持ち合わせておりません。
At this point, we see no reason that level will need future escalation.
Well, that's simply not what Mr. Tanaka told me on the phone earlier today.
No.
When I spoke with him earlier, he said there's enough evidence to raise the level to 7.
Go back to Japanese.
And now he's not saying it, so I am.
Oh my God!
So there it is. The Fukushima nuclear power plant is saying that the level 4 radiation leak that was raised to level 5 has a chance of being raised to level 7, which is the difference between life and gruesome death. We'll be back after this with Sarah Bernhardt.
The NRC is not really telling too much, but New Jersey got hit the worst, and Oyster Creek got hit the worst of all the nuclear plants in New Jersey. Just like I said on Democracy Now! Even before the hurricane. What happened at Oyster Creek was the power went out, the off-site power went off, called loss of off-site power, and then Barnegat Bay started to rise. And entered the intake structure and was either just below or just above the safety-related pumps. They're called service water pumps. One report says it was 6.5 feet and the limit is 7, and another report said it's almost 7.5 feet. So either it was a hair below or a hair above the design height of these service water pumps.
What happens if they go underwater?
Well, a nuclear reactor's got to be cooled even after it's shut down. It's not about the chain reaction. It's about these decay products that are left behind. And these pumps are what cool the plant when it's not running. Oyster Creek had been down for a week and was in a refueling mode. So all the nuclear fuel was out of the nuclear reactor and over in the fuel pool. So the fuel pool had to be cooled. As opposed to the safety systems that you'd have in place after when the plant's running. What happened next is that there's something called a PNO out, which stands for Preliminary Notice of Occurrence, and the NRC has said that the normal shutdown cooling and the fuel pool cooling were both lost at Oyster Creek, and also that there was a loss of off-site power. Now, so what that means is that the nuclear fuel pool started to heat up, and Oyster Creek started to bring in some diesel fire pumps. Apparently, they got the situation rectified before turning the pumps on, but they were in a position where they were bringing in diesel fire pumps in order to keep the nuclear fuel pool cool because of all the problems that they were having.
The U.S. government has set up a special unit to control false rumors circulating on Twitter and other social networks in the wake of Superstorm Sandy. The Federal Emergency Management Agency set up the rumor control section on Saturday. Officials are working to dispel false information through its website and on an agency helpline. According to one rumor, thieves wearing power company uniforms were at large on the streets. Another claimed that anyone who lost power could receive food stamps. Such rumors circulated as restoration work got underway from Sandy, which struck the U.S. East Coast last week. False information also spread on social networks in Japan in the days after last year's quake and tsunami disaster. Japan currently has only one operating nuclear plant. The country's nuclear regulatory body has put off a conclusion on whether a fissure under this plant is an active fault line. If the fault is confirmed to be active, the authority will ask the operator to shut down the plant. 5 experts conducted a survey on Friday at the Oi plant in Fukui Prefecture. They examined the fissure that runs beneath the plant compound. A key pipeline that transports cooling water from the ocean to the reactors runs across the nearly 1 kilometre long seam. The Nuclear Regulation Authority panel was supposed to reach a conclusion on Sunday, but their views were divided. Toyo University professor Mitsuhisa Watanabe said analysis of sediment above the fissure suggests it is active.
I've concluded that an active fault exists. I don't see any need for a more careful evaluation.
But Ritsumeikan University professor Atsumasa Okada pointed out that landslides can create fissures in strata.
I can't decide at this point whether the slippage is a result of deep fault activity. Making a hasty conclusion is dangerous.
NRA member Kunihiko Shimazaki said an active fault or landslides created the fissure, and that is all the group can say at the moment. They decided to meet again on Wednesday to discuss the matter. The nuclear regulator will conduct on-site inspections at 5 other plants.
The remains of a pigeon that may have been carrying a secret message for the Allied forces during World War II have been found in southern England. The bird's skeleton was discovered at an old house in Surrey when the owner, David Martin, recently began restoring a fireplace. A red capsule had been attached to one of the bird's legs. It contained a thin piece of paper with 27 codes, each using combinations of 5 letters. British media reports say experts suspect the pigeon was a messenger for Allied troops undertaking sabotage missions in Nazi-occupied areas. The coded message was probably dispatched by undercover British agents in France to request air raids. Experts are trying to decode the script to discover the details of this secret wartime mission.
MsMilky.